the age of 13, told myself that by the time I was 30, I would be a chief exec of an organisation. I didn't know what, I didn't know where, I didn't know anything about that, but I just said, right, okay, by the time I'm 30, this is what I want to do. I work a huge amount of hours. I'm under a lot of pressure. It's very stressful running a business. There's nothing easy about it. But is it the best thing I've ever done? Absolutely. Do I wish I'd done it earlier? Yeah, absolutely. Hi everybody, my name's Jessica Williams and I'm the Managing Director of Just Williams. I left school at 16 and I worked for an organisation called Yorkshire Bank. I started as a cashier, progressed to lots of different roles within the organisation. I left there after 11 years and went to work for a company called the Entrepreneurs Forum. So I managed a portfolio of customers and engaged with them, and my job was trying to ensure that they were loyal to the organisation but increase their spend. And after I did that for a couple of years, I went to do an MBA, and then I set up my business 5 years ago. Sales is a fundamental role and a fundamental position in any organisation, regardless of whether it's service or whether it's a product. And I think there's a lot of presumption that just because you've got a great product or service that it's automatically going to sell itself. Well, that's not the case. So what a sales outsourcing organisation provides is an ability for you to hire salespeople without hiring them directly, but outsourcing that function to enable a company to sell your products and services on your behalf. But any organisation, regardless of sector, regardless of demographic and regardless of location, needs salespeople. So for me, I maybe didn't go through a traditional route at school, but actually what I realised is I love talking to people, I love engaging with people, and I love developing relationships and transforming a business. And that's where sales is a great job for anyone. So I did an MBA at Teesside University. I went back to university, or in fact I went to university a lot later on, and I studied an MBA on sales psychology. So there are kind of some really key fundamental things that you need to be great in sales, and you need confidence, you need to be a bit of an extrovert to a certain extent, you need to be inquisitive, you certainly need to be thoughtful in terms of the way that you interact with people and have a level of self-awareness. I think a lot of places talk about a community, but Tees Valley has one, and that's a big difference. And there's a real desire here to support smaller businesses and to support startups, and you don't get that everywhere. So for me, Tees Valley is my home. It's the home for my business, it's the home for my life. You know, I've studied here, I've grown up here as a business owner, and I've had a huge amount of support, and I'm really passionate now about creating and looking at where I'm going to get my future employees from. You know, I want people that think outside the box. I want people that, you know, aren't always right from an academic perspective, but there's other options available. I want disruptors, and that's why I'm here in the Tees Valley, because there are some of them here. We all feel sometimes in our own place where we live and work is that, you know, it must be so much more exciting in London or Manchester or one of the big cities. But I've lived in those places, and I can assure you the opportunity lies here. The opportunities that exist within Tees Valley are huge. We have an incredible business community, and we have so many people that have the ability to start their own businesses if only they take the risk. And it is a risk, but actually our region is absolutely rife for and absolutely ready for people to set up their own businesses. I've received so much support from the Combined Authority to Teesside University to the local business community and here at Fusion Hive that actually there's nowhere else I'd rather have my business based. Don't lose the face-to-face contact. You can't form real relationships just based online and through social media. People want to believe and look into the whites of people's eyes. So even if you don't achieve everything that you want to academically, that doesn't mean that your career is over per se. Look at me, I think my parents are finally really proud of everything that I've achieved, and they weren't at the time. But actually, if you can engage with somebody, for me, that's the most fundamental life skill of them all. So if you want a career, it might not be your number one thing to go into sales, but I tell you what, if you can engage with people and if you can hold a conversation and if you've got the self-awareness to be able to do that, the world really is your oyster.